Yo, welcome to another episode of Unpredictable Thoughts Podcast. Your boy Trouble's in the building.
And your man Jones.
Hey, like we always say, let me get a shout out to Crown Royale, the regular.
Yeah, we keeping it simple this weekend. We balling on a budget. Nah, actually, that's just a leftover bottle from a party from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
No, from Bailey's retirement. So
yeah,
that's the
Rich
same bottle.
B.
So yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to him enjoying the retirement life.
Right. That's why he's not here right now. He down in Florida.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
And then Jones, he wound up the other Jones. What episode was that?
Yeah. What was that? Boxing? What was he talking about? Boxing and
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else?
boxing on duty. I forgot the
Yeah.
what episode number it was, but
Yeah.
he
Q went
claimed-
to a party last night and he couldn't make it. So
yeah. So
we down to two of the original three.
so hey, drink responsibly.
As always, if you can drink, don't drive. If you feel like you're gonna go out and drink, make sure you have a plan in addition to drinking. You got a way to get back. You got some extra money. You got a partner that can come pick you up. Staff and CO. If you're in the military, if you're not, call a friend. Uber, Lyft, whatever you could do. Always be responsible when you're out here drinking.
Yeah, make sure your phone charged. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Because
ain't nothing
people
worse
don't
than hitting
remember
1%.
numbers.
Yeah,
People don't
ain't
remember
nothing,
numbers like that no more.
ain't nothing worse than hitting 1% and trying to call somebody. It's not gonna work.
And you trying to get everything out in 5 seconds.
Right. Yo, I'm stuck. Come get me. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, so overall, drink responsibly. So our last podcast episode, we were talking about, basically, long story short, was veterans for Kaepernick and the whole Nike and Colin Kaepernick situation. And we kind of discussed on, from military perspective and, our perspective about the whole situation.
Right. And since then, it's been some agencies that have decided that they're no longer going to allow Nike in their facilities, I should say. I don't know how you address that, but let me just tell you.
So they're like protesting.
I guess they protesting a protest. I don't know, but let me just tell you what Nike is. Nike Inc. is an American multinational corporation that is engaged in the design, development, and manufacturing of worldwide marketing and sales of footwear, apparel, equipment, accessories, and service. Production of athletic footwear and apparel, athletic and recreational products, and sports equipment. Industrial apparel, accessories, sports, and equipment. Operating income in U.S. dollars from 2017, $4.95 billion.
Damn.
Okay. Number of employees, that's 74,400. That's worldwide.
Nike employees.
Nike employees.
So Nike EU, EU is for Europe, the Europe region.
Pick a spot.
Yeah, China.
Pick somewhere where they play sports. Nike is there.
Yeah.
If they playing cricket, Nike got somebody wearing a Nike shirt playing cricket. If they playing soccer, somebody wearing some Nike cleats. If they playing tennis, we already know Serena and a whole bunch of other tennis players wear Nike.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about a multinational corporation, this ain't just an American company. Do you really think that your small U.S.-based town of 64,000 people is going to stop Nike from rolling when they got 74,000 employees worldwide?
Nah.
And they make $4.95 billion in a year. That was their income in 2017.
Yeah.
Do you really think that you not buying Nike apparel in whatever town you live in is going to affect them? All you're doing is making their stock more valuable because people are going to jump on a bandwagon to make sure that you don't succeed in whatever thing you're going to do. Because what you're going to do, go to Adidas, you're going to go to New Balance, you're going to go to what? Puma?
Yeah.
Who you going to have? Under Armour?
That's crazy, and the thing that's crazy that you said that, because it's like I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about the whole Nike situation, and it was like Nike. It was very smart what they did, because if you kind of like break it down, because overall numbers don't lie, so
Right.
It's like the end of the fourth quarter, as far as like closing out your business and stuff. So what they did was, okay, like I'm about to break it down, right? So Kanye, everybody knows Kanye was with Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kanye's the GOAT, don't get me wrong, he's that man, right? So Kanye comes out with this basically I love Trump, slavery was a choice situation, right?
Yeah, the
weeks
most ignorant
later,
thing ever said. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
weeks later, that's when Kaepernick, well, Nike presses the button on Kaepernick for him being the face.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of look at it, it kind of makes like Adidas is the racist shoe line in a sense.
And I won't say that. And I won't say that because I
Yeah.
don't know their politics. I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't know
where
what
they
they
stand.
politics, but from the outside, if you break it down like in social media,
Right.
that's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
because
Yeah,
we live our life in 30-second snippets.
yeah,
You know, 240 characters or 30-second snippets or whatever it is on Instagram, whatever you can get in that time frame. That's how people live their life, and whatever they see in that short amount of time is what they believe. Whereas if you think about Nike as a corporation, and you
28.
28. So when Jordan was popping, you wasn't even really born yet.
Man, who?
Jordan was popping.
It all depends. Like,
Because 2018, it's 2018. So knock 10 years off of that, that would have made it what? 98.
yeah,
So you was
8.
no, you 92.
Else I was 2.
So when Jordan was really in his prime, his heyday, you really wasn't a Jordan fan.
Yeah, I didn't know too
So
much.
you like who as a basketball player?
Yeah.
So you might like LeBron, you might like Kobe, but my generation, Jordan was it.
I caught like the tail end of Jordan, you know.
Jordan was it. I mean, Jordan was the man. I mean, if I wasn't even a Chicago fan, I would watch their games just to watch him play. That's
Yeah.
how good he was to us in our generation. And Nike stepped out on a ledge with him with the first Air Jordans way back in like 80 something,
Yeah.
and got him up. You know, got the red and black ones with the wings on them.
Okay.
The
yeah.
classics.
The ones. Yeah,
Right.
Basically.
The ones that now cost like $5,000. Those.
Yeah.
Even back then, Nike was a trendsetter. People wasn't giving people shoe contracts. Nike
Yeah.
was doing it. Nike was the ones that was giving people Penny Hardaway. All these people got shoe contracts from Nike. You know,
So Nike
Nike always been a
always
trendsetter.
been about the culture, especially.
Y'all remember Bo Jackson, but they had a campaign called Bo Knows. They had Bo in every sport you could think of, but it was like Bo Knows and Bo Knows sports. And he was playing hockey, he was playing football, he was playing baseball, because he did play football and baseball at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow! I know
One of the first athletes I ever seen do that. And then Deion Sanders, of course, did it. But it's a rarity to find a person that can do both. I think one of them played a baseball game one day and played a football game either the next day or the same night. I can't remember for sure, and I don't want to quote it, but I know it happened.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nike always been
About the culture.
about furthering the culture as far as sports goes. It ain't never been about politics with them. They ain't trying to make a political statement about who they support. But if you're the best athlete of your era, of your time, why wouldn't I put my shoes on your feet and put my apparel on your back so you can represent my company being the best?
Okay, well, what you saying that then where does, because it's all about stats with them probably. So where does Kaepernick fall in that
Okay.
being the face?
Before this
Because he's
thing,
always signed.
before this thing became an issue, before this became about the flag and the troops, because
Yeah.
it never was about that, Kaepernick was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as far as numbers went.
Statistically.
Statistically, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He still has better statistics than most of the starting quarterbacks, minus Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, and a few other people that are playing right now, as far as a starter goes.
Okay.
Because you got to remember now, you got a whole bunch of new quarterbacks in the league right now. They ain't proven nothing. He was a proven winner as a quarterback. The problem, like it is with most sports and most quarterbacks, when you change something, something gives a little bit. If you change the offensive coordinator, something gives. You change the head coach, something gives.
Yeah.
They was going through a transition.
Wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Running back, whatever the case may be. Offensive coordinator, something going to give. So San Francisco was going through a transitional period when this whole kneeling thing started. Remember, you even said the last podcast. He started off sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
Now, let's think about this. Rosa Parks sat on a bus in a seat that was reserved supposedly by law for a white person.
Mm-hmm.
They got mad at her and put her in jail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the 50s and 60s, if a black person waved the flag around, an American flag, we all won. I pledge allegiance under the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, except if you black. Because they would snatch them out of their hand. And you laughing, but I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, he said except be black.
If you black, Hispanic, Oriental, or whatever, if you think about this.
If he was other. Yeah.
If you was other, you wasn't part of that pledge. That pledge wasn't made for you. Think about World War II. And I always go back to history because I like to give people a piece of history, a historical fact, so that they can understand where this country is when it comes to how they treat people. In World War II, yes, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. But we had Japanese Americans, people that was born here that were Japanese by heritage, that they put in internment camps.
Damn. Because they probably
Here,
thought they were
because
spies.
they thought they were spies or whatever the case may be. Here in this
50-50 fair enough. I say 50-50 fair enough.
Okay, you're right. In a sense, you absolutely right. Okay, we should be cautious. We should look at these people a little bit different because your brothers and sisters over there just attacked us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they lived here.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like we was connected like we are now, where you can get on a plane and be in another country in 12, 14 hours. Back then, it took you had to get on a ship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had to get on a ship. You wasn't flying from place to place. You had to get on a ship. It took months.
Yeah, you ain't hitting 95 just
Right. You ain't driving from Georgia to D.C. in like a day.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening. That was like a 2-week trip. So what I'm saying is the history of this country does not represent itself as something that you would want. Well, I'll say this. When they write the history books, they always leave the part out where they doing the bad shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, no offense to people that read books, but it's like, I don't know, I'd rather hear, like, as far as, like, someone's life or whatnot, when they're telling their story, I'd rather just talk with them about it.
When you got somebody that has
To hear
lived
their
it,
emotion.
yeah, like, I would much rather hear somebody talk about Jim Crow that was living in Jim Crow
Yeah.
than to read it in a book, because they're going to give you a paragraph, maybe a paragraph and a half on what Jim Crow was in the segregated South in the 1950s, 60s.
And then they're going to make it, like, very wordy. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to make it seem like it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even though they were oppressed, they were happier because they had their own. Nah, we were still pretty jacked up.
Yeah, and then it's like, I just like, I don't know, like little details about certain things, like especially like, okay, we was talking about the Jim Crow era, but like just racism in general. So I was talking to someone and he was saying like his grandmother, like the oppression they would have to go through of like, I guess when Coca-Cola first drop or whatnot, they couldn't get Coca-Cola. They had to drink RC soda.
Right.
And like little like jewels
Right.
like that is like, wow, like, okay, it's already racist. Now you're saying I can't get this soda versus that soda. Even if it's sold in a black store, it's like, nah, you gotta drink that RC, cuz.
Right. Until RC fell completely off.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can get RC like in the Midwest and some places like that, but like not, because if you in Georgia, you drinking Coke.
Yeah.
If you drinking Pepsi, you ain't from Georgia. You from somewhere else and you just happen to migrate here.
Yeah.
Because everybody I know from Georgia, like, what you drink? Coke. Okay.
But just realize how long it took for some
Oh,
people
man.
to actually get that. African American community to actually get that, you know.
Yeah, you had to drink it was called Royal Cola, RC. Royal Cola.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is crazy. So we talking about Nike and we sidetracked a little bit, but I'll say this. Where's it at? Because I just saw it. The Texas Farm Bureau and the Mississippi Department of Public Safety have banned employees from wearing Nike products to work. Now, I'm not going to get into the legality of it, because how you going to tell me what I can wear if I pay for it? But I ain't going to lose. They know people ain't going to lose their job over a pair of shoes. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
If you got to feed your family, you're not about to lose your job trying to make a point. You ain't got Kaepernick money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People ain't got millions in reserve. People ain't just signed a contract with Nike to be the face of Nike for the next umpteen years or whatever it is. So you're not going to lose your job trying to prove a point. But how can you tell somebody what they can wear to work if that's all they got?
I mean, well, we talked about it before. You said if it's a private sector, right? Then
Yeah, you can.
Then yeah, you
Public sector, not so much. Texas Department of Farm Bureau and the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety might be walking a fine line, because although it's a state agency, it's still a public state agency funded by the state government. So how can you then tell somebody that they can and can't wear to work? That's like trying to tell somebody how to wear their hair to work, which the Supreme Court has already said you can't do.
Yeah. Interesting.
The Supreme Court has already said you can't tell somebody how to wear their hair. They've already been lawsuits about this.
Yeah.
You know, cornrows are unprofessional. To you, they're unprofessional because you can't wear your hair that way. to me, it's part of my culture. So how can you tell me I can't wear it?
Exactly, and then I don't know about the sidetrack, but have you seen it's a lawyer, up and coming lawyer, got dreads.
Right, the young black guy.
Yeah,
I saw
black
him.
guy. Shout out to him. I apologize for not
Right.
knowing your name, but Google it.
Right, Google it.
Yeah, Google it. But yeah, I found that pretty dope because I remember having a debate with someone. I'm like, yo, dreads. Like, of course, it's always a spectrum. So, okay, you can have clean cut dreads, and then you can have them nappy ass dreads.
You can have them. You can have them. Oh, them Elephant Man Bob Marley dreads that you ain't edged up in years.
Yeah.
And the dreads are at the back, and the rest of it's like an afro, and it look like it's dirty, but it's really not. Those dreads. Or you can have the ones where you go like every month and get them freshened up, get it lined up, retwist, the whole nine,
but
get them re-oiled.
It's just like a haircut though.
Right.
Like, hey, you can have clean cut, lined up haircut, or for the people that go bald, they could bald their hair, or you could just
or for the ones that go for whatever they going for now, where your hair's just everywhere.
Yeah, or you could have a Kevin Durant.
I don't know what that is.
Head looking like ground beef. Is that professional? I'm just saying.
Hey man, he just need a brush.
Hey, he need
or to go bald, one or the other. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna knock the brother. He like his hair the way he like his hair. But understand this: the way you tell somebody, the way you deliver a message, is gonna be the way it's received. You can tell somebody they can't do something, but if you tell them like this, you can't do it because I said so. Then they're gonna receive it as well as if you say it like this. You know what? I would really prefer if you didn't do the following based off of facts, not off of personal emotion, off of facts.
Yeah.
Because you say, well, I would prefer if you don't wear Nike because they support, they don't support the troops and they don't support the flag.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's a lie. So I bet you if you go to Oregon right now where Nike's based, it's a flag flying out in front of the company.
Exactly. And then what? The Army, I believe, they
Right.
got Nike boots.
Right.
Combat military boots, quote unquote.
You can wear whatever type of boot you want to wear as long as it falls within the standard of your service. Like I said, we was talking about it before the podcast. The Marine Corps, you're going to wear them ugly ass, uncomfortable Marine Corps boots because nobody else can put an EGA, an Eagle, Globe, and an Anchor on the side of their boots.
Oh, for real?
It's a copyrighted item, and the Marine Corps is only going to copyright that to certain people, like Danner or other individual companies. They're not going to give it to everybody to do. They're going to pick the companies they are going to allow to do it, and that's going to be it. So like Under Armour can put the EGA on their Under Armour shirts and then put the Under Armour logo on the right shoulder because the Marine Corps said they could. But without the Marine Corps' permission, you can't do that.
Well, okay, so
It's a licensing thing.
yeah, I wonder if Nike ever reached out to the Marine Corps, like, yo, they had to. They reached out to the Army, which is like,
But all you got to remember, the Army way bigger than the Marine Corps.
yeah, it's directly funded through the government. The Army is directly funded through the government.
We funded through the Department of the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like the poor stepchild. We like the Cinderella of the military.
Yeah.
We get stuff after the fact.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course you wouldn't want to see a Nike check on the Navy boots or whatnot. They black. Like, I mean, yeah, they black unless you maybe a CB or a corpsman. That's when they kind of wear the camo boots like the Marine Corps. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's not that big a deal whether Nike makes boots for the Marine Corps to me or not, or the Army or the Navy or whomever.
That let me know their stance. If the Marine
The
Corps
point,
says yes.
the way I feel about the whole situation is this: you have to be some kind of individual, and I'm not gonna say what kind of individual you are because I don't want to offend anybody. But you have to be some kind of individual to stand up in front of people and tell them they can't do something based off of part of what you believe.
Yeah.
You believe part of something, so you know what? Because I don't like it, and I feel like I believe what somebody is saying. I'm gonna run with that. This is what flames ignorance. This is how ignorance is spread. Because one person says a part of something, and without you doing any research, you run off and you grab hold of it and you just take off. And I believe it too, and then I believe it too, and I believe it too, and before you know it, you got a whole bunch of people believing the same thing. Example: the Ku Klux Klan, without any facts to back it up.
Yeah. So my question to you, being very knowledgeable, can like a CEO, supervisor, manager, whoever made that decision, can they be relieved off of their personal belief and
got,
making a
you
wild
gotta remember.
decision like that, right?
Let me explain to you why this is happening, so you understand why it's happening. It's 2018. This is a midterm election year. It's also an election year in a lot of states, towns, and counties this year.
Yeah.
So people are gonna do whatever they got to do in order to make themselves look like a front runner to support something that they might not believe in order for them to get their seat back or their job back next year.
Yeah.
Because come November, everybody gonna start voting. So if you're the person that stands up for Nike right now and says, you know what, I stand behind Nike because I feel like they're doing the right thing.
No,
guess what
damn well you don't.
Guess what you're not gonna have next year? A job.
Yeah.
So if you stand on the other side of it saying, I don't support them and I don't support anybody that wears that particular brand in my place of business or our organization, then people are gonna say, yeah, you know, hell yeah, I'm supporting that. Yeah, I'm voting for him.
Damn, that's crazy.
Don't look past what it really is about. It's about getting votes. It's about maintaining a job. It's about making sure that you are the voice of ignorance for the next 2 years or 4 years or whatever it is.
So as long as you can really sell it to people.
Man, believe me, what did Donald Trump sell? Think back 2 years ago. What did he sell when he was trying to get elected?
I don't
You want me to tell you what he sold?
Yeah, I don't follow politics like that.
The wall.
Oh.
Remember that wall he sold when he said Mexico was going to pay for it?
Yeah.
The wall built yet?
No, he's like, no.
Not even a little bit. They might have 1 or 2 panels up. But as much as that wall's going to cost, you think it's ever going to get built?
No.
That's why it hasn't been built in the last 6 administrations. It costs too much money.
But my thing is, like, what other countries have a wall, like, to border they thing?
I mean, you had the Berlin Wall between.
Yeah, the Berlin Wall fell.
But that fell, and it was based off of other things. It wasn't based off the fact that we ain't want. They split it so that they could maintain control of a certain amount of. It was different.
Yeah.
What he's trying to do is keep people out. Let me tell you something about our brothers and sisters from the south of the border. If they want in, they getting in.
They gonna get in. When there's a will, there's a way.
I don't care what you put up. You can put up a wall. You can fill up a dam and put water in, and you can do whatever. You can put a moat. You can do whatever you want to do. If they want to get across it, they're going to get across it, under it, over it, through it, whatever they got to do. There's nothing you can put up that has not. There's nothing in history that has been built that has not been defeated.
True. I like that.
The reason why people put locks on their houses is not to keep them in. It's to try to keep criminals out. And do people still get robbed?
Yes.
Exactly. Dang, so go ahead and put up a wall. You got to build a wall from the Pacific Ocean all the way across Texas. Really?
That is crazy.
They're like 2,100 miles. Really?
Imagine being in the military and you got fire watch. You're on duty for that.
Yo, I need you to watch the wall tonight. What?
What?
Huh? Just in case somebody come across. Knowing damn well they're not coming across this sector. They ain't crossed this sector in who knows when.
Yeah.
They crossed the thing with they call them coyotes. The people that bring people across the border, they call them coyotes.
Okay, yeah.
They know where they want to cross at. They know where they want to cross at. They know when to cross. They know how long it should take to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, make certain pit stops
right
here and there, water.
They got this thing down to a science. So why would they then change that and go in a different direction?
Yeah, because they got scouts and everything. Like,
right.
It gets crazy.
Right.
Walkie-talkies, like.
I mean, with as much technology as we have right now, if you think that they're not using drones, because we're using drones, really?
Yeah. Huh. Dang.
Come on, man. I mean, the problem with, I'm not going to say with America, I'm going to say with some Caucasians, is that they don't think that people...
Keyword some.
That's why I said some.
Yeah, you got
some Caucasians, you got to make sure
emphasize
some
some.
Caucasians is they don't think that the rest of the world advances as fast as they do.
Oh, China is moving and grooving.
Right, but they think that Mexico, because it's below us on the map and in their minds, can't think as fast as we can think. Trust and believe. If they couldn't think as fast as we could think, how could the same person get across the border 6 times?
Yeah.
As soon as you send him back, he back. I mean, really? You on to your job doing the same thing. You sent the same person back 6 times, and 6 times he's made it back across the border.
Yeah.
So, really? Who's smarter? Us or them?
Yeah, them.
Come on, when I say us, I'm talking about Caucasians.
No,
I'm not talking about me. Because I feel like the Statue of Liberty said something about give us your poor, your tired, your huddled masses. Meaning that everybody come and we're going to take you in and we're going to make it work. We are a melting pot of the world.
Society, yeah.
At some point, the sign said, we full. No vacancies. Exit only. All that. Just, we as a country, we get full of ourselves.
Yeah.
We got this mentality of we better than everybody else.
Like our pride overtakes everything.
Yeah. No, we not. We just about even, and we dumber than some countries.
Yeah.
Dramatically dumber than some countries.
Yeah, I totally agree.
In some areas, we stupid. So.
Yeah, I just found out I was in Cali for a leadership symposium. I just found out that I guess China was in our cyber network for like over, I want to say 6+ years.
Dude, they talking about how Russia had influence on the election in 2016. Man, it could have been a kid in his garage in Omaha that had influence on the election because there's no way to know who did it.
Yeah.
But they know they did it. They just don't want to pinpoint who did it.
Because it looked bad and things of that nature. Yikes. Interesting. This is a very interesting topic.
So if you support Nike, don't support them for the political reasons that people are trying to put around them. Support them because you always support them. If you always want Nike like me, I have to wear Nikes. I can't wear Reeboks. They hurt my feet. I ain't a big Adidas guy.
You got New Balances. You got
New
Asics.
Balance. No, let me just explain to you about New Balance. New Balance is an old man shoe. And let's say some 996s and they all gray.
Say, if you from Baltimore,
and they all,
then.
There's some 996s and they all gray. Then I might be able to rock with you. Some 1200s and they all gray. I might be able to rock with you.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not trying to wear the Mall Walker 100s. I'm not wearing those. I'm not doing that.
He's not the Mall Walker 100s.
I don't really do Puma because Puma don't have a lot of arch support. So I don't mess with Puma. They really flat made shoes. Unless you dealing with the
I feel as though Puma's more for women.
Nah, they make Pumas for men.
Yeah, I know they make Pumas for men, but I'm saying I see more women rock.
But they did come out with that Rihanna line, so they was rocking those. But I mean, I ain't never been a big Adidas fan. So it really limits you. I mean, Asics. Yeah. I mean, unlike me, my wife rock everything. She got Adidas, Nikes. I don't think she got no Puma because she said she don't like them. She didn't like the way they look. Not that she don't like the shoe. She didn't like the way they look.
Okay.
Get right out there in podcast land before y'all start beaming me up. She didn't like the way they look, not what they are, the way they look.
Yeah.
But I mean, she had on some Asics today. So it's just what she feel like putting on when she go to work out. The style she want to wear when she go to work out is what she wears. So she not on nobody's political bandwagon. She wears what she likes to wear when she likes to go, when she works out, and that's that.
Dopeness.
Don't
define me as one brand.
Right. She do what she want to do, and I'm not mad at that. Whereas other people can only wear one type of shoe.
Oh.
So anyway, I can only wear Nikes. Got bad feet, been in the military for 20 years. My feet bad, so can't wear nothing else but Nikes.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
All right. I guess the more of the story is just, hey, where would you want to wear at the end of the day? And if, like, I mean, I don't know, like, it shouldn't, you need to know the true hard facts of, like, what's going on. And not just, like, read a little thumbnail of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So read the hard facts.
Yeah. Get the facts before you jump on a bandwagon.
And I guess I want to get into the whole, another recap that we did the last podcast was the shooter, police woman that shot the man, went to the whole, thought that was her apartment, but it really wasn't. So
let me talk about this real quick.
The update?
I'm going to update this real quick. And I'm not going to stay on it long because it pisses me off. And I'm going to tell you why it pisses me off. They did a search warrant on his apartment.
After the fact?
After the fact. The same day as his funeral, as a matter of fact.
They could do that? I mean, I don't know.
Evidence of a crime. Crime was committed.
Okay, so that's the crime scene.
Right.
Yeah.
You legally, you can apply for a search warrant. The judge can sign it. we're looking for the following things: shell casings, any evidence of the crime, and anything that may be pertinent to the crime.
But would a search warrant be needed because it's a crime scene itself?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because they closed the door and locked it. The door's locked automatically in those apartments.
Oh, so I
So
thought
when they took his body out after he got shot, and they took him and they said, well, he's hurt, we're going to take him to the hospital, and the door closed, officially he wasn't dead yet because nobody at the scene can announce him dead unless there was a doctor there, and doctors wouldn't do that. He got to go to the hospital where a doctor can say, oh, yeah, he's dead.
Oh, so even if you're a police officer,
No, you can't. I ain't a doctor. I can't tell you that you did.
and the heart stop and everything, like you know for a fact.
Not a doctor.
Okay, got it. You don't have that title.
And I've seen plenty of dead bodies, and I could not tell you if that person was dead or alive. In one instance, I could, but I ain't gonna tell that story because it's kind of nasty. Anyway,
Well, technically, but
you can't.
Yeah.
Right. You can look at it and know, like, hey, that person is gone.
Yeah.
But you can't announce because you're not a doctor.
Got it.
Only a doctor can announce somebody dead. So anyway, they do the search warrant. They do the search warrant, and they find some weed in his apartment. They find a little small amount of weed.
Like a little dime sack.
I don't even know if it was that much. And they make that makes the news. Weed found in victim's apartment. Why is that important now?
Yeah, like
Because unless he was distributing, why is the weed that you found important? Why would that come out in the news report? Because what they do in the media is vilify the victim.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden he's the victim, but all some kind of way now I'm sorry, I said vilify. I meant criminalize the victim.
Yeah.
They're criminalizing the victim. He had weed, so he had to be a criminal.
Oh God.
Come on now, how many states have legalized weed just because they know that it does not cause problems?
Exactly.
So why didn't they search her apartment?
And to kind of back it up a little bit, it's like they say weed in a heartbeat, but like we know for a fact, like with alcohol with certain people, like depending on if it's light or dark or maybe your mood or whatnot, some people turn up and
become completely different people drinking alcohol.
Different and be abusive. So you'll never really hear a case where it's like, oh, we found alcohol
right
in the apartment or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just find that crazy. But go ahead.
So they found a weed. They found some other stuff. They found 2 shell casings, and I forget the whole list. There was a whole list of stuff that was on the internet that they found. They listed it.
But the shell casings was probably from her.
Part of the crime.
Yeah.
Part of the crime, which means she was close to inside the apartment when she shot him. If the shell cases fell inside the apartment.
Yeah. Like, you fucking that bitch. Yeah.
Again, they said they weren't in a relationship. They didn't know each other, whatever the case may be. But neighbors heard her banging on the door talking about, open the goddamn door. So if people heard you screaming, open a GD door, obviously something was going on.
Yeah. Or watch they going, I bet your mental health is going to be.
Look.
Going to get pushed out there.
It's going to be the typical shit that happens in America every time a cop shoots a black person.
Yeah.
Some kind of way they're going to find a fucking wrinkle in time, and she fits inside that wrinkle, and she's not going to get found. She's not going to be convicted.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think in society we use mental health too loosely.
She ain't crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about something. She worked and she was tired. Really? Really? Who don't work and be tired?
Yeah.
Who don't work, got to come home, take care of kids and a whole household and some other stuff, and then go back to work the next day and still don't be tired?
That's crazy.
The excuses they let these police officers get away with when they shoot somebody is crazy. And then they try to give her the auspices of she gave him verbal commands before she shot him. Even the neighbors said they didn't hear her say nothing extra. They heard her screaming about opening the door, then they heard the shots, and that was it.
So with your years of experience, I want you to kind of explain like how it's supposed to go. It's unfortunate that he died, of course, but
right. But if you're gonna pull your weapon out, first of all, it's only as a last resort. If you're gonna use deadly force, it's the last thing. You done pepper sprayed this dude, you done tasered this dude, you done whooped this dude. You done probably use your ass baton. I was gonna say you whooped this dude's ass, but you ain't supposed to whoop their ass. But you done probably use your ass baton on the person. You done a lot of things. You done escalated it. Now, don't get me wrong. You can go from escalation level 0 all the way up to deadly force in like a blink of an eye, based on what the person does.
Yeah.
But if the person is not presenting a threat, meaning they're not doing anything that is threatening to you, you can't just jump to deadly force.
Yeah. So my question is like, okay, your years of experience, of course, it's like she wasn't called to the scene, so it's
No.
not like okay from somebody. So we'll just break it down like this: like a neighbor is like, well, such is going on, which the neighbor would have to call like an operator, and then the operator would be like, hey, we need to
Dispatch.
dispatch police officer to this area. If anybody close, let me know. Blase, blase, right? So that didn't happen,
No.
obviously. So
Apparently, she was coming home from work in her own car or the police car, whatever she was in. She parked in the wrong spot or the wrong floor, got out, thought she was at her apartment. Again, they had key fobs. Key fob didn't work.
mm-hmm.
She swiped it once, swiped it twice, swiped it 3 times. Then she starts screaming apparently at, the door, like open the DD door and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is this. If you swipe your key fob and it flashes red, you know you at the wrong apartment.
Yeah, so okay, you flash and you like, all right, like okay, what's going on? And then you yell. That's my thing. It's like open the goddamn door.
If
Like,
you live by yourself, who was going to open the door?
exactly.
What magic was going to happen and make the door open from the inside for you to go walk in
Like,
from the
oh
outside?
yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Like,
spirit, the spirit of your spirit was going to open the door for you.
yeah, the intensity of yelling
Your
is going
voice,
to unlock
right.
the door.
So let's get past all of that and just say that she could have made a mistake. Let's get to the part where she pulls the gun out.
Okay, she pulls the gun out. She thinks it's still her house, so she may think it's an intruder, right?
Even still, even with your gun out, you can give somebody commands. Get your hands up. Turn away from the sound of my voice. Lay on the floor. Spread your arms. You can call for help while you hold a gun on them. Your first instinct shouldn't be to pull the trigger. Shouldn't be to pull the trigger unless he was presenting an imminent threat. Meaning you felt like your life was in danger in a split second that it was going to take him to get from where he was at to where you were at.
Now, isn't that all about perspective, though?
Apparently, perspective is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you say imminent threat to where you feel as though. So it's your personal.
Because if you standing 40 feet away from me, are you presenting an imminent threat? Unless you have a pistol or a rifle, there's no imminent threat. Now, if you have a knife, it's been confirmed. It takes 21 feet. If you start running at me from 21 feet away, I will not be able to get my gun out of the holster in time to shoot you. They've done tests on this.
Okay.
But if you at 40 feet, I got plenty of time then to get my gun out, aim it at you, take a well-aimed shot, and tell you, hey, drop the knife, drop the knife. When you probably about 15, 18 feet away, bang, bang, I'm justified all day.
Okay.
So I'm screaming, drop the knife, drop the knife. You're running at me. You're presenting a threat to me. But if you in the wrong apartment and he raises his arms and I don't understand. I really wish there was some kind of video or some kind of recording of it or something.
Yeah, they don't have body cams.
She was off work.
Oh.
So
they turn them in probably? I don't know.
They probably don't turn them in, but they probably deactivate them because it costs a lot of money to store that footage.
Got it.
So, we a lot of police departments are going away from them because it's expensive. And unless you can, they have them running on incidents, and then if nothing happens, they delete the information. That way, it saves them money. But it's a law that came out a while back that they got to keep certain incidents have to be stored for 5 years. So that's a lot of money to store something for 5 years, So,
yeah.
But in this particular instance, no body cam information. Nobody knows what happened, but her, because he can't speak.
Yeah, her and God.
But nobody else. It doesn't matter because she did something wrong. Whether she ever admits it or not, she did something wrong.
What was that?
She shot a guy that was unarmed in his apartment. Now, let's flip it around. Let's flip it for all those people out there in podcast land. Let's make the cop be black and the woman in the apartment be white. And think what would happen now.
Oh, God.
Think about open the DD door. And I swiped my fob and it didn't open. I thought somebody was in my apartment. I thought I was at my apartment.
You should have known better. Yeah,
think about all the ramifications of not knowing that you was at the wrong apartment and shooting somebody in their apartment. It's an officer in Washington State, and he's not. I want to say he was either black or like of another descent, but he wasn't white. But he shot a lady through the car door. She called for help. She comes out in what he considered to be, I guess, a strange way, waving her hands and being all erratic. And he shot her, killed her. He's going up on charges. Now, I ain't heard nothing else about it in a long time.
Yeah.
But it didn't take no time for them to be like, oh, yeah, you was wrong. You going on charges. But this woman got to go home, relax, think about her story, get her police defender to come to the house and probably interview her and be like, hey, this is what you need to say in order to make sure your story fall in line. And then go back and get interviewed. And then get released and say, well, we charge you with manslaughter. You didn't mean to kill him, but you killed him. So we got to charge you with something. As long as you say these things, you'll probably be all right.
Yeah. So basically guiding her to her sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guiding her through her testimony.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how you can get off from being on the wrong floor at the wrong apartment and shooting somebody.
I wonder how long she's been in that apartment. If it's new, then I'm like, all right, it's a reach. But if like, yo, you've been there for about like 3 or 4 years, it's like, come on now, this is.
I don't care if you've been there 3 or 4 months. You know when you get off on the wrong floor.
Yeah, true. That's what I said.
It don't look the same.
It's a reach. If it's a new apartment.
Think about going to a hotel. You was just in Cali.
Yeah.
Where'd you stay at?
The Ward Lodge.
Okay, never heard of it.
Yeah, in Camp Pendleton. It's on the main side
of
the base.
Is it a multi-story building or is it a one-story building?
2.
Okay. What floor you stay on?
2nd floor to the end.
Okay.
150.
And you know all that? You was only there how many days?
4 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, she supposedly lived in this building. You telling me she didn't know what floor she was on?
She said she was tired.
Man, I don't hear that.
She tired.
I done been drunk off my ass, and I have never went to the wrong house. Never.
Yeah.
I've always made it back home.
I went to the wrong car before.
Oh, I've done that before.
Sober.
Yeah. Hell, I've done that in a Walmart parking lot before. Shit.
Yeah.
They all look alike.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know. So I really don't know. It's just crazy at the end of the day.
It's unfortunate that we have a justice system that overlooks blatant crimes and punishes people for having weed or selling crack cocaine versus regular cocaine.
Yeah.
You know.
I could go on about the whole drug situation.
We could talk about that for days and days and days and days, and it still wouldn't make sense as to why still some people in jail for selling weed or cocaine or crack, and there's people walking around that then kill people.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell for me to say that one is worse than the other when they've legalized weed in many states.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Or they can legalize a certain amount of weed to carry in the District of Columbia. Colorado has completely legalized it. You know, California. And people typically say, so goes California, so goes the rest of the country.
Oh, I never heard that.
That's a very common saying.
It's the largest state, right?
It's a very common saying. Okay. So goes California, so goes the rest of the country. So if you can get California to do anything, typically everybody else follows suit, because if California can manage it, and they're one of the biggest states, then everybody else should be able to manage it as well.
Yeah.
So, but we're not going to beat that drum no more. We're going to let it go. We're going to find out how this whole thing plays out. But I guarantee you, if it does not play out the way that people think it should play out, they're going to have a problem down in Dallas. They're going to have a problem.
Protests?
Hell yeah. Yeah. They're going to have a problem. People getting tired of cops getting away with blatant murder.
But also, it's like, yeah, people getting tired, but also people starting to grow numb to it as well. To it's like, another police shit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, we'll see.
I don't think people get numb to it.
Do you think they're gonna try to crucify her and make her?
Come on, dude. She a white blonde haired woman in America. They're not gonna crucify her.
Just gotta act.
No.
Yeah.
She ain't getting crucified. That ain't gonna happen.
I don't know.
Now, if she was a black African American man in America, oh, they make an example out of his ass in a heartbeat, but not her.
Well.
So,
next topic at hand, it'd be this whole Hurricane Florence situation. They said it was gonna be like one of the biggest hurricanes next to Hurricane Harvey. Next thing you know, I heard is it stripped down to a tropical storm.
Well, even that tropical storm, 15 people right now have died from the storm.
Yeah, North Carolina. Huh?
Last count was 15. It's this stuff called coal ash. It's the byproduct of when you harvest coal. When you burn coal, they put it in these ponds to collect it. It's toxic waste basically, and it's caused the coal ash pond to break, and it's out there just doing its own thing, you know. So the storm is very destructive, and a lot of people. You asked this question earlier. You asked why didn't they evacuate Camp Lejeune?
Yeah, the Marine base.
And I said, simply this. You do not want to let Marines go off on their own devices and be like, all right, when the storm over, come back. Because they ain't going to come back.
I mean,
their definition of when the storm is over, when it stopped raining. That ain't when the storm over.
But as senior leadership, hey, come back when I tell you to.
Really?
Do you hold them accountable once they get on mass NJPs if you have to?
You ain't going to do that.
I mean, it's justified.
You ain't going to do that. That's not going to happen.
Why is it not justified or what?
It would be justified, but think about this. What's easy to do? Tell everybody to just stay on base, stay in their quarters, and then we have formation on Monday morning at 07:30 to storm them blown through, everything dry, and we can account for everybody then? Or we got to wait till Monday night and make sure that you make it back from wherever you went to have a formation.
But it's just one of those things like even Paris Island, before they reneged on they little deal.
Man, they was coming and they wasn't coming. They was coming and they wasn't coming. They was coming and they wasn't coming.
The general even put out a message like, yo, I'd rather not have nobody in danger than have people in danger.
But let's think about this. We talk about recruits versus Marines. Which one has more value?
It should be both because it's a human life.
we ain't talking about the life part of it. We talking about the recruit versus the Marine.
Technically, it should be the Marine, and it's easy to justify. I mean, it's the recruit.
It's the recruit,
but
because they are the future of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So if they was gonna put any amount of energy, money, anything, and moving anything, they was gonna move those Marines off Paris Island before they moved anybody else.
That's crazy. I mean, because from my understanding, Lejeune was like in the eye of it.
Well, it hit Wilmington, which is Jacksonville. I mean, hell, Wilmington and Jacksonville ain't but like 45 minutes apart.
Yeah, I heard Lejeune was like in the eye of the storm.
But I was at Lejeune like 96, 97, and we got hit by 2 hurricanes back to back. I was standing in the middle of Holcomb Boulevard, waving traffic. So, what has more value, the recruit or the Marine? Because I had no value because they left me out there for like 14 hours.
Dang.
Yeah, they forgot about me.
Yikes.
Yeah, they forgot. I was out in the middle of the street waving traffic.
So say if, I mean, I don't want to play the what if game because we could always play that.
Yeah, you can play the what if game till the cows come home.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, it wound up becoming like this massive, crazy storm. And
you talking about the storm that hit Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Yeah, if it was a hit and it just like crucified the town and like we have a lot of Marines dead and like it just gets crazy. For that commander to make that decision, right? Is it something that he or she would wind up getting relieved by?
Let me give you a clear example of what happens in a hurricane from the Marine Corps perspective, because I've been through a few of them in the Marine Corps. A day before the hurricane happens, they give everybody a stand down order. There's no more training. There's no more rifle range. There's no more nothing. Everybody's going to go back to their barracks or wherever they live at. That's where you're going to be at. You're going to do like one final formation like the day before the storm hit to make sure that you account for everybody. And then that's it. Then you're going to send some staff NCOs over to the barracks to make sure that the Marines are where they're supposed to be at, to include having duties and all of that. Then you're going to send the MPs out to make sure there ain't nobody driving around on the beach and doing anything that they shouldn't be doing as the storm's coming in. Because once the storm hits, you park the white cars, the police cars, and you get in Humvees. And you ride around in Humvees while the storm is in full effect.
What?
Yes.
So you still put people in danger?
MPs.
Oh, wow.
MPs and one duty driver.
Yeah.
So it's an MP, maybe 2 MPs and a duty driver and a Humvee riding around. And you making sure there's nobody out on the road. And that's all over main side of Lejeune,
and potentially
French Creek,
saving
housing,
anybody.
everything. To make sure that people aren't out doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like the dude in the dinosaur outfit running around.
So it's this video on Facebook while the storm is going on, I guess.
It's
like,
a Marine running around in a dinosaur outfit. He's a T-Rex.
A Marine in a T-Rex dinosaur outfit is running around in the barracks.
And this is why you don't let Marines free doing anything. But I'll give you a prime example. When I was a Lance Corporal at Lejeune, like 97, I go to check the grunt barracks, and everybody knows if you have ever been to Lejeune or Pendleton or Okinawa, it's the last place as a police officer you want to go. It's like walking into like the land of the lost. They don't want you there. You shouldn't be there unless you get a call. And I had to go over there and tell them to go inside because the storm was the eye had passed, but the back end of the hurricane was coming.
Oh.
So they thought that, it was over with. No, that was just the front end came. Now the back end was coming. It was the sun had came out actually. They had warmed up and it stopped raining and everything. But then the back end was coming. So I had to go over there and tell them, hey, y'all need to go back in the barracks. The storm ain't not over with, blah, 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 blah. And the only thing that saved me is when I turned the corner to tell I was going to tell one grunt. I turned the corner and I bumped into my damn drill instructor. The person I was at recruit training with like 2 years earlier, we literally hit face to face, like we almost kissed. We was that close. And I was like, oh shit. He was like, oh shit. And I was like, hey, Staff Sergeant. He was still a Staff Sergeant. Mm-hmm. Hey, can you tell your Marines to go in because the rest of the storm ain't over with yet. We need to get these Marines in. Storm ain't over with. Make sure they safe, blah, blah, blah. And he started yelling at them to put him inside. They weren't going to listen to me. Yeah. Not Lance Corporal MP Jones. Hell no.
Get this pig out of here.
Right. Old bootlicker. They weren't going to listen to me. Old Pogue. They weren't going to have it. So, but luckily he was there. He saved me from the embarrassment of trying to place them back in their barracks or whatever the case may be. But that's what MPs do during a storm. They make sure that everything is as minimized as possible. Yeah. As far as damage goes. Because 2 people still died during that storm. Dang. Hurricane Bonnie. They went down to Onslow Beach. Why? I don't know. But they did. And they died. But you still got to have patrols out as long as they can get out. Now, once the roads get flooded or whatever the case may be, then you can't do a whole lot. But
yeah, the
responsibility of the police department, the fire department, EMS is to respond and do their jobs even in a hurricane. So you're still going to be in danger no matter what.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. I thought like once y'all kind of knew a hurricane was coming through, everybody kind of just bunker in. And
you're supposed to, but there's always that person that didn't leave when they were supposed to leave.
Got it.
Then their water start rising and they know, oh, I need help now. So, it's always a person that's, I'm going to ride it out in my house. Or, think about Hurricane Katrina. How many people didn't leave New Orleans?
Yeah.
Or they couldn't leave New Orleans. They didn't have the means to leave New Orleans.
True.
So, unfortunate as that was, it opened the eyes of the world to how hard it really is to get away from a situation when you don't have the means to. A lot of people that lived in those wars didn't have cars. They didn't have family. They didn't have a way to get out.
Communication wasn't as
good as it is now. Right. So, Florence has turned out to be a lot bigger storm than, as far as strength-wise, not so much, but as far as like rainfall and flooding potential, it's a lot bigger than as big as they said it was going to be.
Okay.
So.
That's dope. I was just getting mad text messages like the recruits are coming.
No, they told us like 3 times they was coming, then they wasn't coming, then they was coming, they wasn't coming. So I was all ready to work this weekend. I was mad as hell. Like, man, I got to work the weekend. Like,
Yeah, and then like they already sent the advance party and everything.
Right.
Then they talking about standing a 24-hour EOC watch.
They was already doing that. They already had the civilian employees doing that. It was already in the EOC.
I'm like, man, nothing should really change from the last time. All y'all should really be doing is building from what y'all did.
The problem with anything that happens in life, not just in the Marine Corps, is that people got short memories. And they always want to try to improve on something that already worked well. So
nothing wrong with it in a sense. Depends.
Nothing wrong with the way they did it.
Yeah.
But they always want to try to improve on it. The problem with that is you can't make a wheel better than a wheel.
True. can add stuff to it to make it better.
You can make the ride smoother.
Okay, there we go.
By adding air to the tire.
Ooh.
But the wheel is the wheel.
Yeah.
So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The wheel always going to be the wheel. All you did was add things to the wheel to make the ride smoother.
Yeah.
That's it.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people understand that and go, what? Think about it. The wheel has always been the wheel. All somebody did was put a tire on it. Then they said, you know what? If we put some air in it, it'll be an even better ride. Then if we add some tread, it'll be an even better ride. Then if we make a better tire with better tread, it'll be an even better ride. It's the same thing. All you're doing is improving on it a little bit. But once you get to a point where you can't improve on it anymore, leave it the hell alone.
Yeah.
Because unless you're going to make it like turn into something else, like transform, leave it alone.
Yeah, because like that, the storm wasn't hitting until about Thursday, and that Monday
it kept on pushing. It kept on pushing back. Because first it was Wednesday, then it was Thursday, then it was Friday. So that was part of the problem.
Okay, so once I heard Thursday, and then that Monday is like, 24-hour EOC. I'm like, for what? I'm like, y'all should just have a minimum brief of like, yo.
What they should have done, in my opinion, is this: watch the weather. As soon as the storm its direction is determined, then you stand the EOC up. Because it makes no sense to stand the EOC up 3 and 4 days before the storm is even. When it was all the way out at sea, it was like it's going to hit Parris Island directly or it's going to South Carolina. You stand the EOC up for what?
It's in the middle of the Atlantic. Like,
you ain't doing nothing. Because it took a hard left, a hard right, and went towards Wilmington.
Yeah.
Did South Carolina catch some of it? Yeah, but not as much as they would have had it hit directly in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, no big deal.
I
think sometimes we over prepare so that we don't look stupid if we don't do nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Yeah. I get it, but sometimes you be wasting people's time as well.
It's not that. You're wasting a lot of money.
Yeah.
I always think about I'm always a financial person. How much money does it cost to have the EOC open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week for people that normally only work 7:30 to 4:30? Now you got to pay them night diff because they there at night now.
Yeah.
These people ain't used to being up at night. It's hard to work at night when you ain't used to being up at night. Yeah. That's a rough duty.
And then you rotating people as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to be up all night tonight. Huh? But I've been up all day today.
Yeah. Especially, I have no idea.
So, anyway, the storm is a tropical depression. It might be just a big rain cloud now, but it's passed. So,
and all them people got all that damn water.
It's gonna recede in a couple of days.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that they like cleared out Walmart and stuff like that from like all them water. Cases of water.
They showed a picture online today of water in somewhere. It was $43.50.
Dang.
For 24 bottles.
What?
You paying $2.25 a bottle. Like $2.75, $1.75, something like that a bottle for a bottle of water. That's crazy.
I'm good, love, and joy.
Yeah, where the water fountain at?
Exactly. I'm gonna get some of this.
I mean, I understand that you should prepare before the storm, but that's price gouging, which is illegal. Yeah. You can't, in a time of emergency, you can't raise the price on something to make a profit off of it. Yeah, it's an emergency, really, dude.
You quadrupled.
No, that's not quadrupling.
That's more.
A case of water. Let's just go on the high end and say it's $4.99, $5 a case. $40.
I didn't know the word after quadruple, so I ain't.
I mean, but just think about it.
Yeah.
You went up significantly on the amount that a bottle of water could cost. So,
yeah, you brought a good 10 cases off of that.
Yeah, and somebody bought that water.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Somebody need that water that bad that they bought it.
And the crazy part is not going back to the company. So if it's like a Dasani, Aquafina.
Oh, they bought the store bought the water at price.
Yeah.
That extra $30-something is going into the store pocket.
Yeah.
So
go back to the store for the rollback prices. That's where you see that.
Whatever,
they start
man.
putting stuff on sale.
Whatever. I mean, they talked about. It's the last thing we talk about storms and the aftermath of storms and all that. They talk about how the FEMA director backed up the president's numbers and saying that almost 3,000 people didn't die in Puerto Rico during the last hurricane last year. When that number has been the number that has been floating around since last year. Now, what I don't know the numbers. I don't have the official records, but it's a U.S. territory. Why would we even be still talking about it if it wasn't relevant?
True.
I mean, those American citizens. So, just something to think about, America, in podcast land.
No.
Put your thought caps on and think about that.
Yeah, so I guess that's our last topic before I close it out. So this is like one of our last podcasts.
This might be one of our last podcasts.
Yeah, maybe we can squeeze one in next week, give or take ish. But for those that don't know, yeah, I'm actually leaving. I finally made the decision to change branch of services. I do love the military. I do want to do, my goal was to do 20 years, of course, within the Marine Corps. But as I got older and just kind of being around different people and just realizing certain things, it's like, I can't do it within the Marine Corps no more. Within this particular organization, I will be going to another branch, maybe the Air Force or Army. We'll see whoever accept me, and we'll go from there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this offline, and I ain't gonna talk about it on the podcast because
I mean, we can. Let's go for it.
No, I mean, it's not.
Because I want to expose to people. It's like, yo, because I realized, especially with like some of the people I say I went to MOS school with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some aren't doing as good as I thought they would do.
What do you mean?
Like once they got out, like kind of like low level jobs, give or take. And I'm like, hey, you can still stay in within the military, but like, hey, go to another branch of service. Because I say like every branch may not be for that particular person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, hey, maybe go to the Air Force because education is like your big thing, like more relaxed. So,
okay. So, whichever branch you end up in, I don't know what it's gonna be, the Army, the Air Force, whatever. I don't know. You said the Army a while back, but I don't know how that's gonna all pan out. I feel like at your root, at your base, at the foundation of you a Marine.
Yeah, I'm never going to like not say that. Like, yeah, it's always going to be me.
Like so on November 10th, you gonna eat a cupcake?
Yeah, I'm actually going. Well, I'm going to the ball in New Orleans.
Okay, so this year you going to the ball in New Orleans?
Yeah, I got it. I wanted to come to Albany ball, but
nah. Even I'm saying nah. I'm saying nah to it, and I'm like, I'm here, and I'm like, nah, yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, but it's like, no, like I gotta go out with a bang. I'm gonna go to New Orleans, be at the stadium and everything. 50-yard line, they got buffet style and everything.
Okay, well you do that, and
if you could come, then yeah, let me know.
Let me talk to my other half, see what you want to do.
November 16th is a Friday.
16th, okay.
Yeah.
But I feel some kind of way about it because I feel like I'm losing a brother.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know nothing about this podcast thing until you came along. I was like, yo, you want to do a podcast? And I'm like, man, what the hell is a podcast? Blah, 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 blah. Remember? Long time ago.
Yeah. But
like
you said yes right off the strip.
Right, but you remember what Kevin Hart said? You remember? Remember? I fed you before I left? You know, like that. So, you know, I was like, yeah. No, you know, I had no issue with talking about nothing. But I feel like I'm going to miss out on the rest of your development.
You're still going to be there.
Like I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out on the rest of your development. I'm not going to be able to watch you succeed to the next level because we've been dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
We've been dropping jewels and be like, yo, make sure you do this, this, and this. And you should be able to succeed based off of
X, Y, and Z.
Right.
It's still the same for every branch, though. If you really think about it, how people rank up is almost the same for every branch, except for the branches of service where you got to take tests.
Right.
But it's really all the same. Run a good physical fitness, shoot at the rifle range, and make sure you have a certain
educational standards and stuff done.
Educational standards. I don't know. Marine Corps is just so slow to me. Like I cannot. I, I don't
I'm
know.
not,
It's
I'm
just
not, and I'm not gonna say they're slow. I will say this because I'm out.
yeah.
I would
We're
say the Marine
always the
Corps,
last to do stuff.
we're the last to do stuff, and more importantly, and whether people notice or not, there's a. It's not. I'm not gonna call it a quota system, but it might as well be called a quota system. There's a certain number of each ethnicity, gender that they have to promote every year.
Oh damn.
And they're not gonna, nobody's ever gonna say that, like, oh yeah, this is real, this is true. No, it's true. Because what you can't have is an all white command staff. What you can't have is an all black. When I say command staff, I mean you can't have all white officers and no black officers. You can't have all white staff NCOs and no black staff NCOs or Hispanic staff NCOs or Asian staff NCOs. You gotta have a mixture.
Yeah.
So you gotta find those people that fit those wickets and put them in those places.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes they might not even be ready for it or qualified all the way. And ain't nobody gonna admit this on a podcast and say, well, he telling the truth. No, they ain't gonna say that. But we know that it happens because as enlisted people, you see, like, man, how the hell he or she get promoted?
Exactly.
They a box of damn rocks.
Yeah.
But it happens. It happens because the Marine Corps, like the Navy and the Air Force and the Army, have people looking down on them. Congress saying, how come this is this way and how come this is this way? Everybody has somebody to answer to.
True.
The Secretary of Defense got to answer to Congress and the Senate.
Yeah.
You're not free, the military is not free reign. It's not an all-encompassing group of individuals that get to do what they want to. Everybody's answering to somebody else. So when you say the Marine Corps moves slow, in certain instances they do. They move very slow. They just like the technology. I'm gonna tell you the thing about the Marine Corps that pisses me off the most. The technology thing. The Marine Corps refuses to go Wi-Fi. will not do it.
Yeah.
For fear of tampering. I understand why they won't do it, but damn it, man.
My thing is, I'm like, you're not directly. Always, my philosophy is, learn from the mistakes of others rather than your own. Mm-hmm. So, like, we all know that other branches of service, we're the youngest branches. No, we're not the youngest branches.
No, the Air Force is,
right?
The Air Force is youngest.
Air Force got way more tons of money than we do.
But that's because they're a whole branch of service by themselves.
Yeah.
We already talked about this earlier.
And
we feed off the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
The U.S. Navy be like, yeah, all right, here go a couple of $100 million, $1 billion that you can have. Here you go. And if they don't feel like giving it to us, or they feel like they need it for a special project or something else, then we don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as that sounds crazy, we are at the behest of the CNO, of the Navy. If they don't want to help us, in a sense, they don't have. The thing that keeps the Marine Corps valuable and makes us valuable to the country is that we're the only branch of service that you can deploy anywhere in the country in 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the thing that saves us. Because believe me, if the U.S. Army could do it, the Marine Corps would not exist.
Exactly.
And I said this before. If the Army could do what we do, there would be no need for the Marine Corps. But because the Army can't do it, the Marine Corps has to be here.
They can't do it, they don't choose not
to do it. They can't do it. The Army can only be put in certain instances. And we can only stay when we go to these places no more than 30 days.
But can the Army maybe notwithstand probably uphold, because the Army has another branch within itself, the National Guard, right?
No.
It's not a branch.
The National Guard is for stateside. That's stateside stuff.
Oh, what is within the Army?
What? The Army?
Oh, never mind. but can they? Never mind. Yeah, I can't even. They could probably get to that level. They have so many more people.
They could, but the problem now would be getting rid of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And believe me, as long as I'm breathing, that ain't gonna happen. I'm that Marine. Yeah. I'm standing up in front of Congress like, look, you need us. Yeah. And like I said, I tell people all the time, I was never that Marine. But you ain't getting rid of the Marine Corps because I did my time, and I want to see people behind me be able to come in the Marine Corps and do their time.
Yeah, I do. And I said this. I said, if we go to another war, then I'll stay in. I know it kind of go crazy. It sounds crazy, but like within the time I have left, I said if we was to go to another war, another conflict, quote unquote, then I would stay in. But I'm like, hey, like we're at a peacetime right now within the Marine Corps, and I came in during the war time frame, so it was like
Yeah, everything was
running and
popping.
gunning, everything
Right.
was popping. So I'm like, all right, cool, but it's like now everything's slow. Everybody they're just being petty. We're kind of going to like a recruiter type of mindset now. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's where
But
we're
that, but
going
that
to.
whole with that whole tiering system and that whole uh, you got to get a certain percentage or whatever to stay in as a lance corporal or corporal or whatever the case may be. It is kind of, I ain't gonna say it's petty. What the Marine Corps calls it is they like to keep the best and brightest, and then everybody else can just go away. The problem with that is some people don't shine until shit hit the fan.
Yeah, and that's how I am. I'm very quiet and reserved. I'm not one of those. As soon as I get on deck, you got to know me X, Y, Z, because it's like we said earlier in the podcast. Hey, if it's going well, hey, let it go well. Like I'm not about to. If y'all been doing this for the last 8 years,
And
hey,
it been working, I ain't about to rock the boat. That's
nope.
how I am. Like, okay, so how y'all been doing this? Is it within the regulations? Is it the S, I can't even think what I want to say.
Is it within was it command general
Standard
inspection?
operating procedure.
Yeah.
SOP. Is the SOP say that you can do this? If the SOP, let me read the SOP. If it long as we're within the SOP, we good.
Yeah.
But if we outside of that, then I'm gonna have to bring you back and be like, okay, we need to do it this way. But I've never been one to rock the boat.
Yeah, it's a lot that kind of went into my decision, and like I said, I did want to do 20 years within the organization, but I'm like, okay, we're promoting crazy, like because a lot of people are getting out, especially within my age group, so they kind of have to promote on a faster level, which kind of hurts because it's like I'm kind of seeing a lot of privileged peers. My peers are becoming privileged, and I'm like, yo, you got to do this, and this.
And that's the problem with this whole you got to be a staff NCO by your damn, 8-year mark?
Yeah.
That's the problem with it. When you put a time limit on something, you have no choice but to then promote the person that can do the requirements in that time
At
limit.
a bare minimum.
Even though they're not ready to be a staff NCO. Because when you make somebody a staff NCO, what are you making them? You put them in charge of people. Not as a sergeant, but as a staff sergeant. Which means you're telling them that, hey, what you say goes and blah, blah, blah. And it's crazy the way that, I think about this. If a person joins the military at 17, that means they're going to be a staff sergeant by when?
24.
Exactly. And what the hell
and that's it. So let's compare it, right? So I said E6 in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And let's compare it to other branches of service.
The best and brightest might make it there by 24. But not everybody going to make it there by 24.
Yeah, so where say average age is about 24 to 26, maybe 27.
Right.
So if you look at other branches of service,
you're doing 10 years before you ever pick up staff sergeant.
Yeah, so as an E6, some of them ain't picking up E6 to the like late 20s, like late, almost you almost pushing 30. But it's a lot of maturity that comes with that.
Right.
And with that being said, it's like decisions are kind of being made on a more intellectual level.
Things start slowing down.
And maturity level, too.
Things start slowing down. You typically have a family. You typically have 1 or 2 kids, maybe. Yeah. So.
And that's why I kind of seen it as, because I kind of broke down, we had a group talk before, like at work, and they was like, well, you know, our NCOs, E4 and E5 in the military branches, they carry the most weight. And I was like, okay, well, what's the average age of an NCO? Average age now, I'm seeing
20, like 22.
Yeah, 22-year-old sergeants, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's break that down, right? So about 22 years old, what was I thinking about at 22? I was running and gunning in these streets. Whole life at the max as a male.
Right.
Female, I don't know what they doing. They popping it or something. But I'm like, okay, the kinda, as an NCO, I was scared to pick up E4, E5 because I felt as though I didn't know it all, you know?
And you never will.
And yeah, okay, yeah, I never will. But also, like as a mentor, you're talking about life. Like these are, like you can make or break someone's credit score.
Yeah.
If you don't kind of properly put them under your wing at the end of the day. So it's like, well, compared to other branches of service, their E4, E5 level is probably higher at a higher age or whatnot. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just a lot of stuff that I thought of opportunities wise as well too. You know, we don't carry the same opportunities as far as education.
What do you mean?
I want colleges on base.
Oh, well, not here in Albany, but at Lejeune they got it.
What college?
They got it in California. They got it in Okinawa. They got
I never heard
UMUC in
of
Okinawa because I went. I know they got it.
They have who?
UMUC.
Oh, they got UMUC? Oh.
Yeah, in Okinawa. I know because I went.
Oh.
So they got colleges on base. It's just a matter of whether you can get to a place where they can provide those services for you. Just here, not enough Marines. They're not gonna bring it.
Oh.
They're not gonna do it.
I didn't feel it in Hawaii. Maybe I was wrong.
They got University of Hawaii on base.
I don't know.
You still had to go to some online, some on campus classes because you are in Hawaii. It is an island, so where you gonna go?
Yeah, true. Travel duty station preferences. I was like, okay, yeah, just like being within your MOS.
That's what I took too. I took duty station preference. I took Hawaii. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm saying compared to us versus other branches.
Yeah, I mean, other branches gonna give you a more worldly view unless you in the Marine Corps and you do embassy duty.
Yeah, embassy duty. That's far in between.
Yeah, but as far as that goes, you're only gonna get what the Marine Corps has, and the Marine Corps don't have a lot as far as duty stations. They just don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pendleton, Okie, and Lejeune.
Yeah,
you get your onesies and twosies.
Unless you get lucky enough to be a general's driver and you get to go Europe or AFRICOM or something like that. I mean, and that's gonna be even rarer a experience because everybody don't get to be a general's driver. Yeah, and he might not want you to go with him to Europe or wherever else he's going next.
So all right, sir. Hey, F it. I ain't going.
But as you transition from this life in the Marine Corps to another branch of services, you got to. I think you need to remember this one thing. It ain't the Marine Corps. And I'm not telling you not. And I told you this before. I'm not telling you not to go. Just remember, it's not the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And every branch of service got their BS.
Yeah, I agree. It's life. You can go to a regular job. You do 20 years in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
Get out and you're like, all right.
Yes. Believe me, I know. Because as soon as I can stop working, I will stop working. I am going to stop working completely. And
you ever realize that the circle of the military, circle of life in the military is like you in or whatnot, and then it's like, I can't stand civilians. I can't stand civilians.
Then you get out and you're a civilian again.
Yeah, but people.
I still don't like them though.
But people be so quick to be like, oh, I need to get out so I could be a civilian. I'm like, where does that balance out at?
I still don't like them. And it's not that I don't like civilians. Mm-hmm. I don't like the civilian mindset
of getting stuff done.
Right.
Yeah. I totally agree. Sometimes it can hurt us though. Sometimes it's always putting that pressure.
Because everybody don't think the way the military thinks.
Yeah.
But also people don't have the mentality of getting stuff done. Sometimes stuff in the civilian world moves really, really slow.
Yeah.
And when it needs to move fast, there's no speed up button. It's one size fits all. We're gonna do it at this pace because everybody can move at this pace. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the military, you was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Y'all was getting a lot of mail.
Oh God, yeah.
If you didn't get the mail out, then what? If people didn't come get their mail, then what? Going in and coming out.
Oh people would complain. We gotta call people. Hey, make sure y'all come pick up.
Right.
Like it'd just get crazy.
Right. So when you get out and go into the Army or the Navy or whatever you go into, just know that they might not have the same sense of urgency that you had when you was in Afghanistan. It might not be as laid back as it was when you was in Albany.
Yeah.
So you just got to be prepared for the middle ground somewhere.
Yeah. I think that's what always kept me good though as far as life is just kind of always having that middle ground. I don't know. Let's see. And then, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, sometimes race has played the part in my decision of my decision of getting out the Marine Corps because it's like you said earlier, They actually, the crazy part is they actually got statistics on this. I think it's called like manpower.
Yes. And I didn't want to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, so they
Yes.
got statistics of like they break it down between how many blacks, how many Hispanics, how many Pacific Islanders,
And what rank those specific people are.
yeah. So like to kind of like break it down even further, it's like I got the last time I looked, it was like one black lieutenant colonel, female lieutenant colonel, or whatnot,
And she on our base.
and she on the base, and it's like okay, she about to drop papers, so it's like okay, she about to retire, so you gonna put somebody else in her spot?
They don't have to.
Yeah,
Somebody else that probably does not have the experience or the time is going to get promoted because they have to fill that spot based off of the system that they set up.
yeah. But I guess with me, when it came to race, it's just like always from duty station to duty station. I was like, man, I always felt lonely, like because it's like I ain't gonna lie, sometimes sticking with your people, as far as okay, you see somebody else African American, all right, can you relate? It's like, man, I don't know if you drunk enough Kool-Aid or not.
I'm gonna give you a short story because we're gonna end this podcast on a positive note. But I'm gonna give you a short story. I was talking to a young
Yeah.
black individual the other day, young black man the other day about something, and I was talking to him. And at first, he seemed like he was receptive of what I was saying. Then at some point, he looked like he shut down to what I was saying. And then somebody said, "You know why he shut down?" Like, nah. It was like because he support Trump. So what you were saying to him, he wasn't trying to hear. Okay, well, I'm still gonna tell him whether you hear or not. I don't care who you support. You got to understand, as a black person in this world, you are black in this world, and whoever you support don't mean they're gonna look at you as a different kind of individual. You can't change your skin color.
Yeah.
When you get put over by the police, what they see first is that you're black. They don't see that you support Trump or that you might be all about that life.
Yeah.
All they know is that you black. And I'm not telling you got to get on one side of the spectrum or the other. You can support whoever you want to in your political affiliations. That has no bearing on how I live my life. But understand this. In this country, where we live, in this United States of America, if you are black, Hispanic, or other, when you get pulled over, you better have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Or there's going to be some trouble.
Yeah. And I always,
And I hate to say it that way, but that's just the way it is.
I always thought like, why didn't in the military they never spoke up about it?
They can't because the military, we all green. Or we all whatever.
And as soon as I take my uniform off and come out the gate, then what?
That's the problem. Therein lies the problem. They don't. That police officer in South Carolina or North Carolina don't know you a Marine when you come out the
Exactly.
gate.
It's not like they run my tags and
And it said U.S. Marine.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what it say, but I'm pretty
It
sure
say whatever your tag say.
Yeah, and first name, last name, and then yeah. So I don't know. It's just it's a lot that played into my decision. It's longevity within this as well.
Yeah, I mean it's the beating that the body takes because the Marine can make you do a lot of dumb shit. So
Especially because I feel as though right now we're at like a fog of war. Because all I hear is train, and it's like okay. Normally, when you're trained, you're training for something.
the Marine Corps always been that way though.
Yeah, so it's like okay, but at the time, so if you kind of back up history, because we were steadily in conflict, right?
Give it a few years, we'll be another one.
That's like to what?
Dude, that came in '95. By
That like Desert Storm era.
By 2003, we was in a real war. Real.
Yeah, Desert Storm, and then that's when the whole Iraq and Afghanistan hit.
Less than.
But you kind of
less than 15 years in between.
So that's But at a sense, like, would it be safe to say you kind of knew the direction that y'all were kind of going in?
Nah, dude, because we
Desert
was
Storm
chilling.
to.
We was chilling.
Oh, okay.
Chilling. I mean, we was training. Don't get me wrong. The Marine Corps always gonna be training. They always training for something.
Nothing wrong with
like
training.
Said,
Don't
right.
get me wrong.
But we was chilling.
Okay.
I was in Hawaii and we was living a good life.
Living my best life.
That's right. And then September 11th happened and everything changed within like 40 minutes.
Dang.
Like within, you could see the shift in the way that everybody on base started doing stuff based off of September 11th happened. 3-3. I want to say it's 3-3.
That's a 1 3 2 3 3 3.
3-3. Because they fall under Okinawa, but they in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They started doing stuff different. Their training evolutions got better. All of a sudden, when something bad happens, I like to call it the pot of money from the sky. It just fall out of the sky. Don't nobody know where it come from. Don't nobody know where we got it from. We were so broke. The Marine Corps was so broke up until like, I remember we didn't get paid because they didn't sign a budget at one point. And then this happened, and all of a sudden the pot of money from the sky came. And all of a sudden, all kinds of money just was available.
Here's 3 extra paychecks here.
And no, we ain't never get no extra paychecks.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm talking about extra training availability.
Yeah.
Now we got more bullets, we got more band-aids, we got more beans, as they say. So, believe me, there's always some money in that extra pocket that don't nobody know about, or it's always some money in somewhere that don't nobody know about, waiting for that next incident to happen. And the Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, I'm not gonna say they're waiting for it, but you can never test out your newest technology or your newest theory or your newest practice that you use in small scale and big scale till something happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna say that something's gonna happen immediately, but wait for it. Something else gonna happen.
I keep on hearing China. I don't know.
Man, ain't nobody trying to go to war with China.
Man, big wigs.
$1 billion?
Yeah, or the big wigs.
Billion?
Big wigs, they were taking at a symposium. They kept on saying China this, China that.
Listen to what I'm saying. You do not want to get into a land-based war with a country as big as China.
But I think China's philosophy is to go to war and never shoot a weapon or shoot a bullet. They're trying to mess you up like
technology.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, we still think conventional. Everybody else thinking technology-wise.
Exactly.
So we still boxing.
Yeah. And they shooting.
Everybody else ballet dancing.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody else ballet dancing. You know, we still boxing. We still in the ring with gloves on. Everybody else, hey, they slip it up. They slipping and sliding right around you. Yeah. They're not even trying to stand in front of you no more. They trying to get around you the best way they can without doing at least the most amount of damage without getting damaged themselves. And we still trying to do damage based off of old school conventional war.
So like a Floyd versus Mike Tyson type of fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Floyd gonna lean back and let you throw a whole bunch of punches, and he gonna hit you in your face and blacken your eye. But you're gonna be tired because you done threw a lot of punches and ain't did nothing to Floyd.
Yeah. Hit him with the Mayweather shoulder.
Right. Hit him with the shoulders.
Yeah.
So when we think about conventional war in the future, it's not gonna be gun versus gun or bullet versus bullet. It's going to be computer hacker versus computer hacker in some dark room all night long, sending cyber attacks against your financial institutions, against your DOD, against anything. I mean, anything that can be hacked. That's what they're going to be trying to hack. What's the easiest way to break somebody down? How you feel when you ain't got no money?
Yeah, you about to killing it.
That's first thing. You ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Then if you can control the money, and then you control the military through hacking, what's left?
Nothing.
If you can crash the financial market through hacking, then why you even got to fight a war?
Oh, God. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I ain't no hacker, but I know enough to know that if you can control the internet, the interweb, whatever you want to call it, you can control the world.
That was deep.
That's the problem with being connected to everything. That's the problem with the world being so connected.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody's connected, you really are connected.
Yeah.
So unless you plan on unplugging,
going ghost,
can't do it.
Yeah.
People depend too much on their Instagram and their Facebook and they whatever else they do. Their online shopping. If you go on the internet for anything, you could be tracked. It's a way to be hacked.
I was heard as soon as you get on somebody's Wi-Fi, you could be
hacked.
So if it's free or not, like,
it's just like when you go online and look for something. Let's say you went online and look for a pair of Nikes. You ever notice when you go on Facebook, you get Nike advertisements?
Yes, I went on Groupon last night, and as
Groupon,
soon as
all over your Facebook.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, because Big Daddy Kane is doing a concert in Baltimore, so I sent it to my mother. As soon as I got on social media today,
no half stepping, because I'm the Big Daddy Kane.
And I guess speaking of that, this be the segue into it. For the rest of my career, there ain't gonna be no half step within the rest of my career. Yeah, whatever branch I decide, they may not have the same standards, but I still will upkeep the same standards, I upkeep the same standards of the Marine Corps that's been instilled in me. It's just, I don't know. It's just not for me no more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, man. It ain't for everybody.
But at the end of the day, because I know the younger generation won't get this. Hey, once you hit retirement, hey, it's all out the same DOD pot.
Basically,
Yeah, E6 is the E6 regardless.
in every branch.
In every branch of service. So it's kind of like, kind of broaden your horizon. Pride don't pay the bills. I know it's some veterans out here right now that maybe had the opportunity to switch the branch, but, they got out and they're not doing as best as they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, the economy is good, but it ain't always good for veterans because everybody's scared of PTSD. So we talked about that before. So when the media throws a stigma out there like that, and then the VA throws that stigma out there, and then veterans say it themselves, it makes it hard for you to get a job because people are like, oh, you got PTSD. PTSD is not something to be scared of. It can be managed.
Yeah.
You can't unsee something once you see it.
True.
You can't unhear something once you hear it. So that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with PTSD. That's it. People have memories of stuff that they did and that they've seen that they can't unsee and they can't unhear and they can't forget because it's there in their brain and there's nothing you can do about it. And no amount of talking about it, no amount of medication, no amount of whatever is going to ever make it go away. It's people from World War. It's been documented. People from World War II will tell you that they can still hear and see stuff that they did in World War II. We're talking about something that happened almost 80 years ago. Damn. So if they're not going to forget it, how you expect somebody that just was in a war 10 years ago to forget it? It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
Yikes. That's crazy. But, yeah.
So on a lighter note, I want to say I wish you the best of luck in wherever you land, wherever your feet may land. I wish you the best of luck, and you always know that you can reach out to your man Jones because I'm always gonna be here.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna let you fall on your face. So
thank you, my brother. Thank you. Luckily, hopefully I have all my ducks in a row before I step out to this magnificent world. I mean, they've been talking good, so yeah, we'll see. I can always come back in, so there ain't no problem.
That's all we can do is wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. But I guess I end the podcast. What was I supposed to say?
It's another episode of
Thank you.
Thoughts. Golly, man.
Thank you for another episode of Unpredictable Thoughts Podcast. Your man Troubles.
And your man Jones.
Peace.
Hey, what